But I realized this guy was very, very, very smart. Really smart. One of those people that's got a shine in their eyes, one of the brightest people you'll ever meet. His name is Ezra Firestone. Ezra has went on now to be probably the leading e-commerce trainer maybe in the world. I would think he's probably, if he's not, I don't know who would be. He's done private deals with Shopify, with some of the other larger platforms. When last we had business together, he was selling Halloween costumes and toys and everything you can imagine on e-commerce sites, and doing very well doing that. And he said to me, he says, "You know what? I'm going to build my own products. I'm going to build my own brands. I'm tired of this importing crap and just selling other people's stuff and making a little bit of money here and drop shipping. I'm going to build my own stuff." You know, I remember having a really good meeting with him, sitting at an apartment building that I used to have in Austin, and I laid out the native commerce vision to him that you guys heard about this morning. It's probably 5 years ago, and I think he looked at me like I lost my friggin' mind, and I probably had. And he said, "Well, I'm just going to go. I get this lady. She's really pretty, and I think other ladies are going to want to look like her. So I'm just going to create this cosmetics line, and I'm going to sell cosmetics, and she's going to be the face." And I said, "Man, you're going to get murdered in the friggin' cosmetics business. There's no way you can possibly make any money. Maybelline, everybody controls that market. You don't have a shot, dude. You ought to figure out something else to do." He said, "Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway." And he just told me a few minutes ago, walking up, that they're approaching the $2 million a month line right now in their cosmetics business. Yeah, absolutely. It's the hardest thing in the world to do. But he's going to teach you today how they do that step by step. I think that'll be kind of a cool thing to learn, and how that can tie into you building your own content, because they do a lot of content work, and develop their products and sell their products to those folks. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, I hate to have you stand up right after lunch, but everybody needs to move their ass up anyway and dance around a little bit. So stand up and welcome Ezra Firestone to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Ezra Firestone. Oh, man. Thanks, brother. Take care of him, boy.
It's a good-looking crowd. How you guys doing? Good? Yeah. I'm going to ask you guys to stand up real quick. Put your hands on your hips. Serious. Get on up. Hands on the hips. Okay? Just kind of rub elbows with the person next to you. There you go. All right, you can sit back down. That's what you're here to do. You know, I think that the most valuable thing you can get out of this event is the relationships, the people you will meet. And I'm going to give you some direct response e-commerce content. I'm going to show you exactly how we turned $434,256.72 into about $1.4 million in January of this year, 2016, and how that's growing each month. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing that step by step. Does that sound good? Cool. I'd like to give it up for Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, and Digital Marketer. Come on. This is what Ryan looked like as a baby. Found that on his Facebook. And, that adorable, cute, red, white, and blue American baby turned into that guy who we all know and love. His speech, I don't know who caught his opening speech. Our people was very inspiring. Thank you, Digital Marketer, for this event. I'll give you guys some stats. This is today so far on one of our stores. We have many stores. This is one of them. This is yesterday. Here's the last 7 days. And this is the last month. So I'm showing you guys this stuff not to brag, but just to show you that I know what I'm talking about, that I've been doing this effectively for the last decade or so. And what I'm going to be sharing with you is in line with everything that you've been learning so far. It's just more of a case study. So it's like the actual pages, the actual ads, how we're doing this. How you doing, man? Look like you're having a good time. I can just raise the roof up a little bit. Yeah. Woo! You guys remember when that was in? Raise the roof? That was like huge when I was in high school. People were just walking down the street raising the roof. I still kind of like it. Every now and again, no, I don't actually do that. All right, so on Facebook and Instagram, in January, we spent $429,000 in advertising. We spent $22,000 of that on Instagram, so most of it was spent on Facebook. We didn't spend any money on Pinterest, and that's because we had supply chain issues. That's what we've been resolving in our business, is the issue of our supply chain. So we had to shut down basically Instagram, Pinterest, and we had to shut down Google. We were spending about $100,000 a month on each of these platforms until we started scaling beyond what our customer service and what our supply chain could handle. So we've kind of ratcheted everything back, are getting that stuff solved, and now we're starting to push ahead again, which is why we're growing. So we only spent $5,000 in Google on January. This is the actual breakdown. This is January. This isn't the last 30 days. The last 30 days are a little bit bigger. This is the actual breakdown in January of our numbers for this individual e-commerce store. Total ad spend, $434,000. Total revenue generated, $1.4 million. The profit before advertising spend on that 1.4, our profit's about 57% in this company. It's about $800,000, and there was $376,000 in actual hard, after everything, after cost of goods sold, after paying our employees, after everything, profit. And that's growing month over month, and I think we can be a couple $100 million within a year or two. And so what I'm going to show you is actually not that complicated. And it's the same exact thing that I use in every one of my businesses. I have other e-commerce businesses. This is the biggest. And I have information marketing, software as a service businesses. I use this same sales funnel that I'm going to present to you, and it's similar to what you've seen so far. This is what I looked like as a kid. I was a really happy kid. Unfortunately, I don't have this dog-lion thing anymore. Wish I still had that thing. That thing is awesome. Look at that. Come on. Who wouldn't want that? Raise your hand if you're just going to go looking for that on Google right now. So I build multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands, and I document the process. That's my model. I build these brands, I document what's working, I share it with entrepreneurs like you. It's kind of a permaculture business model. One feeds the other. I've been driving traffic online since I was 10. I was not actually 10 here. For the last 10 years, I think I was more like 6. I was that really dirty kid. Like, seriously, I wore the same clothes every day. I had like the cloud of dust. You had to like scrape me when you bathed me. I was like really dirty. My mom likes to remind me for some reason. Like, okay, I get it. I was a dirty kid. So I've spent millions on Facebook. I've spent millions on Google. I spent only $233,000 on Pinterest because I only got access to Pinterest in January of 2015, and then we basically ran out of inventory, so I had to shut it down. But more importantly than all of that, than these numbers, is I know how to turn traffic into sales. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today, about how to do that. So I'll give you a little bit on our company, Boom, real quick, just to kind of give you sort of the ethos, the feeling of the company. So in America and in Western society, men are valued for production. So as we get older and as we make more money and produce more, we get more value in society. Women are valued for youth and beauty. And they're told that their value starts to decline as they get older. And you've got 80 million baby boomers. Half of them are women. They're all having the experience, a collective experience. By the way, as a marketer, as an aside, what you do is you market to people who are having collective experiences. So they're having the collective experience of their bodies aging, their hair graying, their skin wrinkling, and everyone telling them that that's bad, that they're wrong, that they need to stop this, anti-age, anti-wrinkle, this is terrible, you've got to stop this at all costs. And that's a tough spot to be in. And if you're a guy, you have no idea what that feels like. You have no idea. You've been bombarded by other messages. You're not thin enough, you're too fat, you don't smell right. You've got other things that are wrong with you. It's the way people sell stuff to you, right? They tell you you're broken, and then they conveniently have a way to fix this thing they've just told you didn't know you were broken about. So it's the old you suck, give me money strategy. It's the oldest trick in the book. You suck, and I can fix that for $1. So our philosophy with this brand is pro-age. Our cosmetics are sheer. They're about celebrating you as you are now, celebrating you at any age. Just because society lays this trip on women doesn't mean it's actually accurate or valid. So that's a little bit about the company, kind of give you an idea of it. I'm going to show you my exact campaigns, sales funnels, engagement sequences that are making me over $1 million a month on this one Shopify store, with the hope that you will copy it and use it in your business. That's what you're here for. So How does that sound? Sound good? Okay. If you want, you can respond to me with just a growl, just a "Arr." Feels good, you know. You don't get an opportunity to express yourself that way that often. It's an underrated form of communication. So if I say something you like, feel free to just growl at me. This guy's just waiting for the opportunity to growl right here. My wife and I recently took a trip to South America. This is the sort of obligatory, we've made it selfie that you send to your friends. Like, we made it, you know, we're alive. I was really happy I found a mango here. This is us tripping around on one of these little carts. And this is a chicken we found. We found this random chicken. I don't know, we didn't eat it, but we found it. And we gave up the routine and stimulation of our daily lives. And we replaced it with nothing at all. And that's an interesting experience to have. Usually when you give up the routine and stimulation of your daily life, you replace it with some other experience. This was like sort of a meditation thing, and there was lots of isolation, which I was against. I was like, why are we going to isolate ourselves for a week or 10 days or whatever? It does not sound like a good time to me. But she wanted to do it, and I'm into whatever, I'm interested in what she wants to do. So I thought, let me just try this out. And for those of you who are creative, it's an interesting place to be. There's a type of creativity that's available from a place of lack of stimulation that isn't available anywhere else, I discovered. And I got a lot of perspective on my life. It was fascinating. It was really intense. They didn't feed you very much. They kind of just let you be alone. It was like, does not sound very fun, right? But it was cool. And I got perspective on a lot of things. And when my attention turned to business, which it didn't that often, but when it did, I had this flash that every successful enterprise starts with one successful offer. And the people who I know that aren't making it are the ones who don't have a successful offer. And so I thought to myself, I really ought to just document, break down in great detail what it takes to have one successful offer. Because once you have one, it's a whole lot easier to get others, because then you have customers who bought from you who are much easier to sell to because they already like you. Anyone ever fallen off this stage, I wonder? I really don't want to be the first guy to fall off this stage. Let's just back up here a little bit. So, it starts with visibility. You've got to have people know that you exist. This is the Traffic and Conversion Summit. So it starts with visibility. The big 4 players in the game right now, when you're going to generate visibility for an offer, are Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Google. There is no business in this room that can't make their visibility work on one of these channels, is my belief. Now, there's a bunch of other visibility channels. There's all kinds of other sort of query-based advertising forms like Bing and Yahoo and Amazon even, and then there's content networks like Outbrain and Taboola and stuff like that. But with these 4 platforms, you have sort of all you need. And I'm going to recommend you start with Facebook, and I'm going to talk to you specifically about Facebook because I only have 43 minutes, and I'm going to give you some steps because I think Facebook's the easiest one to interface with. Now, when I got into the game, as Perry mentioned, I do remember that conversation we had. It didn't go exactly as he said it did, but it went something similar. And another thing that I just changing the subject a little bit is I won't call you guys fuckers, I was like, I have the viewpoint that you can all be successful, not just 2 of you. So just, I'm going to play it a little cooler than that other guy, although he was very good. Can you imagine you get up in front of a room of 3,000 people, you assholes, It was crazy. I never seen anything like it. It was wild. Yeah. So, so we used to only have query-based advertising. Query-based advertising is fantastic. Someone is searching for something, you show it to them. It was like the greatest thing in the world when it was cheap, when it was easy to buy. Now we have contextual advertising as sort of the main player in the game. And contextual advertising existed back then. So query-based advertising, when it started, was mostly Google AdWords. You buy an ad on Google for a search term, you show someone what they were searching for. It's kind of easy to make a sale. A little bit harder to make a sale when someone wasn't searching for something. You need to engage them in a conversation, which is what we're going to be talking about. But the thing that makes advertising work today, contextual advertising, which is what we are all kind of doing, There's some of us who are still doing query-based, and we do a little bit of query-based, but like 95% of the ads that we buy is contextual. And what that means is that you're targeting someone based on context. You're targeting them based on data points that you have about them. And it used to be that you only had one data point, which was the website they were visiting. Now we have all these data points, demographic data points, interest data points, behavioral data points, and we can combine all those together to make a very specific group of people. And that's what makes advertising online powerful today, is that we have all the data points. Does that make sense? Where's the growl? Come on. Ah, there we go. All right, good. Yeah, I won't call you guys fuckers, but I will get a whole room of people to growl. So that's kind of cool. All right, so since visibility is the first step, I want to talk a little bit about the 3 most common mistakes I see people making when it comes to buying visibility. So we buy a lot of traffic online. Let's experiment with this. Okay, so we buy a lot of traffic online, and I kind of see people making 3 main mistakes when it comes to scaling advertising campaigns. Like, anyone can make an advertising campaign work when you're, buying $100 a day worth of ads. That's like small and niche, and it's kind of easy, right? So if you want to scale beyond that, if you want to have a company that has an offer that, goes to more than just 5 people, then you got to get these 3 things right when it comes to buying ads. So the first mistake that people make is targeting too broadly. Because we have all these data points, it's easy to make these giant interest groups, but the success of your advertising hinges on your targeting. If you put the message in front of the wrong group of people, they're not going to engage with it. So you've shot yourself in the foot from the start. You're like an archer shooting at a target, and you got to hit right in the middle. And so I'm going to give you some advice on how you can target. Now, I think that your targeting groups on Facebook should be between 50 and 500,000 people. That's a good range to fit into. And I'm going to give you some advice on ways that you can target that will have your targeting be more effective. And then after I get through these 3 mistakes, I'm going to show you the actual sales funnel and all the pages and all that stuff. But I feel like you got to get this stuff. So the first thing is to use interest and behavior stacking. This is a new feature. Facebook now lets you narrow and say, I want people who have a purchase behavior of cosmetics and who have a purchase behavior of fitness products. So I've stacked 2 behaviors with some demographic data points. United States, women over 45, who match both of these. That stacking is super powerful. So we've been testing these stacking features, right? And we thought, okay, why don't we see if it's the interest or if it's the stacking? So we took all of our stacked ad sets, which are hundreds of them, we split them out one by one. This interest excluding this interest excluding this interest. So we had it made sure they were singular. And in every case, the stacked groups, in every case, these stacked groups won. So it's super, super important that when you're making ad sets now on Facebook, that you stack things together. Not just add a bunch of interests into one ad set, but you use the stacking feature. The next thing is to break out your ad sets by placement. So you build these audiences. Is there anyone here who doesn't know what an audience is? Okay, you build these audiences of people. And then when you're setting up the ads in Facebook, don't run, that audience to iPhone, iPad, desktop newsfeed, right column, all in one ad set. Break them out, because the audience will perform differently to a different placement. So it's interesting, like Ellen DeGeneres fans does really, really well for us on the iPhone, but nowhere else. But we spend maybe $600 a day on the iPhone on that interest group. So you got to break it out by placement. The other thing is that you want to narrow down geographically. And for e-commerce, New York, California, Florida, Massachusetts, and Texas are going to be your 5 best states for selling product. Start there if you don't have a big budget. Start where it's most likely to work. Use geographic targeting in your advertising. And the next thing is that our best placement across all of our audience groups are iPads. iPads are just crushing it. They're converting like 6 times as well as everything else. So you want to target on iPad. And the other thing you can test, which is kind of cool, is only targeting mobile devices that are connected to Wi-Fi. This is working well for us in a lot of cases, because people who are connected to Wi-Fi are much more likely to, they're kind of settled. They're not running around the world. You know what I mean? What's up, dude? Is that Bob Cockerham? Oh my goodness. Last year, so you sell cars, right? So tell me what you sell. Anyone need a Volkswagen? Bob's got you no money down if you need a new car. Talk to Bob. Bob, raise your hand. Albuquerque, New Mexico, Bob Cockerham selling you a Volkswagen, no money down. We need to get you a pre-sale article or something. Mistake number 2 that people make. So after you've targeted them, you've got to sell the click. You've got to get them to actually click on your ad. They need to engage with your ad and click on it. So here's some things that we've found. Upper thirds and lower thirds. I cannot tell you how many ads I see that don't have text over them. You must have a upper third or lower third of text over your ad. It's an extra headline. The other thing we found to be super effective are people's faces and cartoons. And you'll notice basically every one of our creatives stacks all these elements. Upper third or lower third of text. Cartoon, person's face. That is like the recipe for success for our market. So and the thing about the cartoon is it makes the ad stand out. The thing that you have to remember about your ad is it's got to be congruent with the page you're sending them to. You can't just have like a picture of lips. That's not going to work. If you're sending people to like a skincare offer, you need something that's relevant to the place they're going. It's got to be congruent. But if it's, sort of cartoonized or flashy, it'll stand out a little bit. We kind of, I would say, innovated the kind of, tattoo art, cartoon art banner ad. And now like every woman in America has seen these. It's sort of the new, like, remember what borders used to be on banners? This is sort of like how we differentiated our ads when everyone was running borders. You guys know little borders around the thing? Yes? I'll growl back, It's not just you growling. There's only 2 goals for every ad. Frame the prospect and get the click. That's all your ad has to do. And if you keep that in mind, you'll have a better chance of... So you put your ad in front of the right person, now you've gotten them to click on it. You can use rhyming. Rhyming in the text of the ads works really well. If you ask people what they think is true, you give them the same exact thing, but one sentence rhymes and the other one doesn't, and it's like it means the same thing. People like the rhyming thing better, and we find that rhyming in our ad copy works really, really well. I won't get too deep into this, but I just want you to understand that that's the mistake that's made by advertisers, is they don't have any attention on selling the click. You got to get people to click on your ad, and I think Perry might have talked about that earlier. Last mistake people make: post-click engagement and post-engagement selling. Here's what that means. You've got to get your prospects to engage with you in a conversation that they're actually interested in. After they click, they've got to engage, and then you need to get them to say yes to consuming your sales message. So they have to say yes to clicking the ad, or your first, yes to reading the headline, yes to clicking the ad, yes to consuming on the content on the page. If you remember that the whole thing about a sales funnel is it's all about flow. You need a yes at every step. And all of these, every step that you get an additional yes, it's a delta, so it adds up. So you've got to get people to say yes at every single step. And that is where the sales funnel I'm about to share with you comes in. This is the most effective sales funnel we've ever found. It's very similar to what's been talked about here so far, just adapted. We've been doing it for about 5 years now. It's how every single one of my businesses runs. All we do is engage people with content that they find interesting. We engage them in a conversation with a piece of content. They then subscribe to us, or they go on a retargeting list, and we make them an offer. So here's how it works, okay? Before you start driving visibility, because traffic is a problem, and those 3 things will help you fix your traffic problem, and you're here, so you're probably pretty good at traffic, you need an effective sales process. And it starts with one core front-end customer acquisition funnel. That's what it all starts with. If you can get that down, if you can get one funnel that works, even not at scale, you've now got customers. And now you kind of have done it once and you can do it again, but you got to get that one funnel to work first. I call this funnel the Dipsy Doodle and the Don Daliber. How do you say it? No, come on. It's Doodle. There you go. So this is my name for the funnel. I don't know what digital marketer calls it. They probably have a different name. But this is what we do, okay? We start with traffic sources. We send people to what's essentially an article or blog post, a piece of content that engages them in a conversation that alludes to a solution. The solution that this piece of content alludes to is your offer. Now, the piece of content must relate to the problem that your product solves. If the piece of content doesn't relate to a problem that your product solves, it's no good to you. Then they go through to an offer page, and from there there's a sales sequence, and there's things happening on these pages. And when I break it down for you, it's going to make more sense. So the key here is that we don't chase our prospects. The old model with query-based advertising was, here, buy my stuff, chasing after the sale. The way we do it now is we let them chase us. We say, here's this cool piece of content. And then they're reading it and they're like, oh, that's a cool thing. And they click through to the offer. So they're chasing the offer. Does that make sense? Similar to what's been going on so far? All right, so here's what it actually looks like. We target a group of people on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest. You guys have access to digital marketer trainings to learn how to drive ads. So you guys should get that and do that and do that. So here's what an ad might look like for a piece of content. 64-year-old makeup artist turned supermodel. You guys can have these slides. Send me an email, Ezra@smartmarketer.com. You guys are all taking pictures. We could do selfies and stuff, but if you, take pictures of the slides if you want, but you're going to get them. You can just email me for them. 64-year-old makeup artist turned supermodel shares her secrets. This is called a listicle, so it's a list, 5 tips article, but there's a million types of pre-sale content. And I'll tell you about those in a moment when we get there. So when they click this ad, they go to a piece of content. Notice that there is no click-through above the fold. The fold is here. You have to consume this and then scroll before you can even click through to the offer. Because the point here is to engage them in a conversation that they're interested in and have them consume the content, or they won't actually be interested in the offer. Now, there's a couple things happening on this page. If you try to leave this page, we do an exit intent offer. We say, hey, you came to a piece of content, so you try to leave. We pop up an on-site retargeting using OptiMonk. They got a booth out here. Tell them you came from Ezra. And it says, hey, here's another piece of content. So if they enter their email address here, how you doing, man? You enjoying this? You sleeping or you cool? You're cool? All right. And it says, hey, while you're waiting, check out our most popular product. In January, just from that exit intent offer, we generated 6,500 leads. So we're driving people to an article page, but that article is generating a lot of leads because we have an exit intent offer. $45,000 came from the email sequence that we put people on. So people, you'll notice if we look back at the funnel. See this part right here? Oh, go forward. Uh-oh. I can't figure this thing. Okay. See this part right here? They try to leave. We put them through a content opt-in. That puts them on an email sequence that sends them back to the sales page. That's that part of the funnel. And that part of the funnel, just that opt-in, was responsible for 45,000 of that 1.4 million and 6,500 new leads who will convert next month. These are the types of emails we send them. Hey, thanks so much for joining the club. Check out this piece of this next piece of content, or come join our webinar. So we use long-form video events, webinars, product launches, sales funnels, all this kind of stuff to sell physical product. All the stuff that you know as a direct response marketer from selling information or being a services agency applies to any offer, not just an information product offer. It applies to physical product businesses. That's one of the things that's made us successful, is taking direct response technology and applying it to physical products. Now, I would like to be clear, this is not an exit pop-up. Exit pop-ups are bad. Exit pop-ups, what they do is they pop up a new browser window. So you try to leave and it's like pops up a whole new window. This is in the browser they're already in. It's not popping up a new browser, so it's totally safe. You can run traffic to it. It's not against the rules. It pops up in the browser they're in. Does that make sense? All right. Nobody wants to growl. You guys just ate lunch, taking naps. All right. So we also have retargeting on this page. So we sent people to the article page. We got the opt-in to get them if they're leaving. We also retarget them. This is what Molly and Ryan and Perry and all them are referring to as placing the pixel. So we place this pixel. We run an ad to people who visited the website but have not bought. These are the kind of ads we run. We send people back to the same piece of content they consumed in the first place because we're lazy, but frankly, you should probably send them back to a new piece of content. But for the longest time, we sent them back to the same piece of content that they had consumed in the first place, until we had the thought, what if we engaged people with a different media format? People who came to our article, what if we retargeted them with a video instead? This is by far our highest performing retargeting ad. Certain people prefer to consume content in certain formats. So different people, some people might like audio, some people might like video, some people might like text. So if you send people to an article, you can retarget them with essentially the same content but in video format that will probably work better because it's another media format that you're hitting them with. If you don't have the capacity to do video, this is an advanced tip. If you don't have the capacity to do a video retargeting ad, retarget them with the same ad that you targeted them with in the first place. Still works. Just the top part of the funnel with that retargeting and with the retargeting ads and that email opt-in is responsible for 25% of revenue. Just this top part of the funnel is responsible for a quarter of that $1.4 million every 30 days. All right. You guys with me? All right, cool. Next, we move on to the offer sequence. It's important to recognize the offer sequence does not have to be an e-commerce store. The way I sell software, the guy last night was grabbing him. He was doing that. I notice people's body language. I find it really fascinating, the type of body language that people use. Anyways, so we move to the offer sequence. Now, when I sell software, I drive people to a pre-sale article that's a case study of how the software works. And then they click through to a long-form sales page that is the software offer. Or I drive people to a case study of how I did this, and they click through to a webinar opt-in as the offer. The offer sequence does not have to be an e-commerce store. In my case, it is for this offer. But in other offers, it's different. This is what it looks like. We actually make people go from the ad to the article to a category page on the e-commerce store to a product detail page to the shopping cart. Seems kind of like a lot of stuff. Works really well for us. So they go to our category page, then they go to our offer page, and then they go to our shopping cart. That's the offer sequence we have for this e-commerce store. Now, we have some elements happening on that set of pages as well. We also have exit intent on that set of pages. But you'll notice that that exit intent is saying, get 10% off. Because they clicked through to the offer. They showed interest in the offer. So we can use exit intent on these pages to talk about the offer. On the other one, they were on an article page. So you can't try to sell them something. You can just say, hey, get more content. So in this case, we say, hey, get 10% off if they try to exit any one of those pages. And then they say, thanks so much, here's your coupon code. That one exit intent offer that is on the category page, the store page, and the shopping cart, for us, and for you would just be on your long-form sales letter if you were doing it that way, is responsible for 1/6 of our total orders. That one coupon. Pretty crazy how effective that is. You can see now that the retargeting and the exit intent is like, a good 30%, 40% of the business. So the offer page and the offer sequence is very important. It's got to be optimized for conversion. So I'm going to give you guys a couple conversion rate optimization sort of elements to look at on these, pages. The first is that in our case, we go to a category page of an e-commerce store. And this is relevant for everyone. It used to be that we tried to cram everything above the fold, right? Because nobody would scroll. And this is what our heat map looked like. Nobody knew where to click. You know what I mean? They were all just kind of lost. They have no idea where to click. So we thought to ourselves, well, what if we make the page longer and we use video, because that's our main selling proposition. By the way, if you don't have a video on your offer page, you've got to have one. I'm going to get to that in a moment. What if we use video as the main sort of value proposition on the category page as well? Yes, people would have to scroll, but people seem to be scrolling these days. Facebook, Pinterest, all these sites are just scrolling. So look at what happened. Look at the difference between these two. On one of them, nobody knew where to click. On another one, they all knew to click the video and then check out the product if they wanted. The difference here is a 13% lift in overall conversion rate. So longer form pages can be good if they have more value. You don't need to cram everything above the fold. People are willing to scroll. So that's our offer page. Now, our category page. Now the next step in our offer sequence, because I said the offer page or the offer sequence must be optimized. So in this case, we've got an offer sequence. It's a, look at our products, select the product you're interested in, add that to the cart. So this is actually our product detail page or our main offer page. This is the most important page in your entire funnel. This is where people are going to make the decision, yes or no. Hey, honey, how am I doing? Good? Yeah, that's my wife. Let's all give her a round of applause. Woo! I get all the credit, I'm like the guy up here talking, so I get all the credit for like everything that we do. And really, she does most everything. She's responsible for 99% of our success. Thank you. Yeah. So, okay, continuing on. That was just sort of a little aside. So, couple elements about your offer page that you really want to pay attention to. You'll notice that we have a product sales video and a hero shot of the product above the fold. This goes back to the idea that people prefer to consume in different formats. Some people are going to look at those images. Other people are going to watch these videos. And we've got text above the fold. You need all three of those elements above the fold on your offer page. Video, hero shot, and text. It will convert better. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that on our main offer page, we've got a sales video, but we also have what we're calling third-party pitch videos. More than one sales video for the product on the product detail page or product offer page or service offer page or whatever it is you're selling. This is how it actually looks. Now what these are an arbitrary third party pitching our products. Sort of like an infomercial or a news thing, if you can get that. If not, you can go to famebit.com and you can hire someone who's a YouTube star to do sort of a pitch for your product. Now the only difference between these and this next kind of video I'm going to show you is these are professionally produced. Okay? So you're on the offer page. How you doing, Rich Thurman? Doing all right? I thought you were glazing over there for a minute. No? All right, you're with me? Good. Rich Thurman, in these bags, Rich had like a popsicle stick and his head, as if he wanted us to like bite into his head. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, this is a popsicle stick. You want me to like lick it? I mean, what is the... I've got to ask you. I can lick it? That's creepy. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've got to figure... I mean, it stood out. It's the one thing I looked at. Like, what is this thing? Anyone see that thing? This guy's head on a popsicle stick? It's cool. Okay, so more than one sales video. More than one sales video. Long-form left-right copy. We have a sales video. We also have long-form left-right copy. In the split test, they converted the exact same. But the longer form page had a higher average order value because the people who wouldn't watch the video read the text. And they were ordering more, higher quantities. So long form left-right content, customer video reviews. I think these are essential for any offer page. The only difference between these and these is that these are professionally produced and these aren't. These are shot in an iPhone. We send people after they buy from us an email that says, hey, we'll give you a $10 gift certificate if you shoot us a video with our product in it and your face telling us what you thought. Here are the 3 steps on how to do it. Step 1, mention our name. Step 2, pull out your phone and shoot the video. Step 3, reply to this email with that video clip and we'll send you $10. So we incentivize them to give us a video review. It works like gangbusters. And we get all these video reviews. They help our offer pages. How's that sound for offer pages? Good stuff? Okay, cool. This is the funnel. I need you guys to be excited. No, you don't actually have to be excited. I'm excited, so you don't have to be excited. All right, then they get to the shopping cart. Not a whole lot going on the shopping cart page, the checkout page, other than we've got multiple payment methods, and the first thing we ask them to do is put in their email address. When they put in their email address, we scrape that information. You might have a 2-step where it's step 1, enter email address, step 2, go to the rest of checkout. That works fine. The key is that you want to put people on an email list somehow because 68% of the people who enter into your checkout will abandon it. That is the current statistic. 68% will leave. So we use long-form cart abandonment sequences combined with promo ladders. So what that is when they abandon the cart, we send them an email that says, hey, you forgot to check out. Here's what you had in your cart. That's all we say. And then we've got other emails that go out, and eventually we start putting them on a promo ladder, which is like, here's a discount. Here's a bigger discount. Get it free plus shipping. Like, until, just trying to save the sale and acquire a customer. Now, with the cart abandonment sequence, it's important to remember, you must send 1 email a day for 7 days. 90% of the revenue on your cart abandonment sequences comes in that first week when they were excited about it. All right, here's where we are now. And what's the name of the funnel? Dipsy Diddle. And the Don Daliber. Don Daliber is where you make them sign the dotted line. See that? A little bit of hidden psychology there. Okay, so we've made it through this part of the funnel. Let's go back. We've made it through this part of the funnel. We bought some traffic. We targeted an audience. We engaged them in a conversation. They clicked on our ad. They went to our pre-sale article. We had action going on here where we had retargeting, back to the piece of content. We had exit intent offers that put them on an email sequence. We had our offer sequence. We had an exit intent offer with a discount off of the offer page. And we had retargeting going on off the offer page as well. Moved into our shopping cart. We had a cart abandonment sequence. We made a sale. They've become a customer. All that stuff and they've become a customer. It's not actually that hard. It just takes putting these steps in place. Now, we want to worry about our average order value. What can you do to get a higher average order value. Because the bigger the initial order, the more you can spend to acquire a front-end customer. And ideally, you can acquire front-end customers at break-even or at a profit. You don't have to wait 30, 60, 90 days to be profitable, ideally. And we're able to acquire front-end customers at a profit because of all the stuff we're doing, and also because we have an upsell tree. And you guys all know what that is because you're digital marketer subscribers. So we send people on our Shopify store to a tree of offers. Hey, because you bought this today, I want to offer you this other thing. You can get it now for 10% off. One click, add it to my order. 15 to 30% immediate increase in front-end revenue when you add this onto your sales funnel. Immediate increase in front-end revenue. You've got to have something in place to maximize that order value. And it has to be something that's relevant. And like they said, more of what they just got is usually the best thing. Hey, you just got this thing. Would you like more of it? It's kind of a safe offer to make there. Final thing in the sales sequence is we, on the post-purchase thank you page, we have a pop-up that incentivizes them to share. We're saying, hey, share this purchase with your friends and get 10% off. We use a little tool on our Shopify store called Friend Buy for that. Really, really good thing you need to be doing. Social sharing as a channel of commerce is coming up. Over the next 2 years, it's going to be growing and growing as a channel of sales for commerce companies. So you want to have a plan for post-purchase sharing in place. And ideally, in your customer service inbox, everyone that emails you, when they get the response, it's like, P.S., share this with a friend. You mention it in the customer service emails because people will come back and remember, oh, I want to share this with a friend and get 10% off. You end up getting like double the amount of shares when you put it there. And then we have a post-purchase thank you page. Couple elements that you want on your post-purchase thank you page: a face-to-camera video with someone from your company building intimacy and relationship and FaceTime with your customer and getting them to like your Facebook page and join you on social media. Hey, thanks and here's what you do in that video. You tell them what to expect. You say, here's what you can expect from us. We're going to ship your product in this amount of time. We're going to send you a couple emails about this. Like our Facebook page. It's sort of framing what to expect next and also getting them to engage with you on social. And then, of course, you want a long-form post-purchase automation sequence that has what's built in as a pre-arrival sequence. So you'll notice we've got these pre-arrival emails that go out before the product actually arrives. Now, if you're selling a digital product, then you don't have a pre-arrival sequence. You've got a sort of, what's the word for that? Like an engagement, customer sequence where you're just sort of providing them content and stuff. What's the name? Consumption sequence, exactly. Now, the other thing that we have in here is related offers based on what they didn't buy yet. You'll notice that we ask them to take a selfie. People love to take selfies. Oh my God. Everyone is just dying to pull out their phone and take a picture of themselves and send it to anyone who will take it. So we have our first email that goes out where we're collecting an asset that we can use for conversion is a selfie request. It's the easiest one to get. And we enter them into a contest. They can enter a contest, where they can win $100 or whatever it is each month. And then we can use those selfies on our offer page. The thing I didn't show you on the offer page, there's a couple elements. You can go to my store and look at it. Buy my stuff while you're at it. It's good stuff, handmade, organic, edible. Not that you'd want to eat it, but it's tasty. I've tried it. Maybe that's why I was such a dirty kid, eating everything. So you get that selfie. And then the next thing we ask for is a survey. And on your surveys, post-purchase, customer surveys are very important. I don't have a lot of time to get into all that right now, but customer surveys are super, super important, and you can get really, really detailed answers from people. So what you do on these surveys is you don't make a multiple choice. You make every question a comment box, and you let people just express themselves. Here's what people are looking for. A little secret, right? I had you guys rub elbows earlier. You guys remember that? Okay. Take your hands up, right? Everyone? I'm waiting. Put them down. Hands down, the best training you will get here. And I'm just kidding. So a little trick about surveys is that you can get your best information for what products you should introduce, problems people are having, ways that you can serve your customer better from these post-purchase surveys. It's phenomenal. We build our business around the content we get from these post-purchase surveys. We build our business to be of value to our customers, and that's the best place to get information on who your customers are, is let them tell you. People are just waiting to tell you what they think. That's all. Here's what people want. They want acknowledgement, and to be told that they're right and that they're good, because they're being bombarded by advertising messages about how they're wrong and they're broken and they stink and they should buy deodorant and like all this kind of stuff, right? So they just want to be told that they're right, and they want an opportunity to express themselves. Acknowledgement and a willingness for someone to listen to them, right? So you got to provide both of those things. And then we go to the incentivized video review requests, and we've got a bunch of other stuff that we do. So that is the initial prospect value progression we use to make over $1 million a month. Notice I said initial prospect value progression. That's just the front end. And then there's all the back end marketing. There's the cross-sell webinars. There's the upsell. There's the pieces of content that go out that engage them in further conversations. There's all the kinds of marketing that you're learning here, but it starts with one well-done front-end customer acquisition model, and there's not a single business today that I know of that can't use this model. I use this model to sell information, software. I used it to sell real estate. I was selling $100,000 lots of real estate in Uruguay for a while. Physical products of all kinds. This sales funnel will work for you if you do it right. And all you have to do is actually do it. So here's a couple tips for you. Use win-back campaigns and promo ladders together. What a win-back campaign is this. So for a physical product business, it's really relevant for a physical product business. I'm giving you guys a lot of stuff, and that's deliberate. I have confidence that you are a crowd that can follow me. And if you're not following me, I'm producing a 5,000-word case study article for the Digital Marketer blog that goes through this in significantly greater detail than I just did here, so that you can read that. That'll be available, I don't know, whenever Russ gets around to it. But so you have that in your back pocket, that if you felt like I gave you a lot and it was kind of hard, that's coming. So I just want you to know that I'm doing this intentionally, because I believe, unlike the other guy, that you can all do this. I thought only 2 of you could. No, I like that. He's really obviously amazing. I'm just giving him a hard time because he was giving you a hard time. And I'm on your side here. So win-back campaigns and promo ladders. What a win-back campaign is this. You do something called the cohort analysis. And sort of the way to easily explain a cohort analysis is simply buyer behavior. When is someone most likely to buy again? That's the question, based on the thing they purchased at first. And you can figure this out. It's not hard to do. If they bought this product, they're most likely, you can start looking up cohort analysis. You can look in your Google Analytics for it. They bought this product, they're most likely to buy this product again within this amount of time. So just as a blanket statement, we know that if someone buys from us any product, they are most likely to make a purchase again within 60 days. And if they don't, we've basically lost them. So what happens is that at the 60-day mark, we start a win-back campaign with a promo ladder. Hey, we noticed you haven't made a purchase in 2 months. Here's a discount. A couple days later, hey, that discount is going away, right? The scarcity. Hey, here's an even bigger discount. So we try to save that. We use promo ladders combined with win-back campaigns dynamically for each product. So I know if someone buys a color, they're most likely to buy another color within 30 days. If they don't, I put them on an email sequence. You guys with me? Okay, you can do this. Behavioral response automation sequences. This will change your business. You must be marketing to people based on the behaviors that they're taking. They bought X, but they didn't buy Y. Make them an offer for Y. They opened, but they didn't click. Send them the email again. They watched 25%, 50%, 75%, 100% of the video. Send them a sequence based on how much they consumed. This is easy to do with Wistia and now the new Lead Pages offer, which is like a command center that does all your marketing analytics and lets you get access to this data. Here's a cool one that we use for our webinars that should be relevant for everyone in here. If someone watches a webinar, attends maybe a little bit of it or doesn't attend the whole thing or even watches the whole thing, send them a PDF of the video, because some people like to read. Since we started doing this, people come through our sales sequences, they watch our videos, and then we email them a PDF of the same thing they just watched. We transcribe it, put the images in there. Absolutely crushes. So good. That one tip should pay for your whole trip here. It's a really, really good one. And then also starting the video from where people left off. One key to success in this business, showing up every day with a positive attitude. The secret in this game is consistency. That's all it is. You just have to keep showing up. You just have to keep showing up every day, having a good time, having fun with the people around you, and taking the next step that's in front of you. The only time that you're done is when you decide you're done. It's only over when you decide it's over. You've got to just keep at it. Consistency, repetition creates mastery. You want to get good at something. The one skill set that you need as a human being is the skill set of mastery. That skill set will change your life. And it's simply the willingness to put your attention in one area consistently over time. You pick up an instrument every day, you play it for 30 minutes, you're going to get better at that instrument. You do advertising, sales funnels, marketing every day for an hour, you're going to get better at it. I was a white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 20 years. I'm the only 20-year Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu white belt who's ever lived because I didn't do it consistently. Then I got my blue belt last month because I did it consistently for like 8 months. It's not about how much you work. This is a common misconception in our industry. It's not about how much you work. Everyone's telling you hustle, grind, sacrifice, work hard. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's about what you produce. It's about what you produce. If you work yourself into the ground, you have no energy left for the rest of your life. I advocate for working less than 8 hours a day. I advocate for having a team who helps you, delegating, communicating effectively. I don't think you need to work yourself into the ground to make it. And I think that's a common misconception in our industry. The other thing is don't be an asshole. Like the other guy was calling you. All the body parts, I'm going to tell you a little joke. All the body parts are fighting for who's in charge. The brain's like, well, dude, I should be in charge so I tell you guys what to do. And the hand is like, well, I take the food and put it in the mouth. I should be in charge. And the lungs are like, well, without me, you can't breathe. And the legs say, well, wait a minute. I walk you people around everywhere, right? And then the asshole stops up for 2 weeks. Everyone agrees the asshole's in charge, okay? The asshole can be in charge, but the asshole doesn't have any friends. And ultimately what you want is intimacy and connection and friends. That's what you're doing this for. Who cares about the money? Yeah, you want to make money so that you can buy comfort. Money doesn't buy happiness, it buys comfort. And there's only a certain level of comfort that you can get to by yourself, right? So you got to keep that in mind. The other thing is it's not over until you say it's over. Here's another joke for you while we're at it. This farmer has a rooster, okay? Rooster his name is Wally. Is it okay if I use vulgar language for the next couple minutes? Anyone going to be offended by that? Okay, I'm going to use vulgar language. That guy, sorry bro, you're 1 in a couple hundred, so you're outnumbered. Wally is impregnating all the hens, right? He's fucking all the chickens, and he's fucking all the cows, and, you know, he's fucking the, what other animals are on the farm? The goats, you know? He's just like doing it to everyone. He's the guy on that farm. And he's doing this for years, okay? Years. And, you know, time goes on, his body's aging, and he sort of can't produce as much anymore. And one day the farmer, Billy, comes out and sees Wally just like crumpled up in a mess on the ground, you know, just out there, just totally looking like he's half dead and dying of thirst, and there's vultures circling around Wally. And the farmer says, hey, Wally, you're not doing so well, man. And Wally says, it's not over till you say it's over. Wally wasn't done. It's sort of a vulgar joke. I don't know how my wife feels about that one. What do you think? Not good? Borderline? I've never told that on stage before. Never heard that one? It's a new one. Surprise. Okay, well, just think about it and tell me. I won't do it again if it's not good. My point is that it's not over until you say it's over. Wally wasn't done, and neither are you. It takes a willingness to actually implement this stuff. You come to these events, you get high on theory. What matters is when you go home and you begin to implement, practically, showing up, intending to do something and actually doing it. And what I just gave you today should give you a real-world, practical example that you can copy step by step for how to implement all the stuff you're learning here into one front-end customer acquisition model. That's the story of how I turned $434,000 into $1.4 million in 30 days using Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Shopify. My name is Ezra Firestone. I have 3 minutes to take questions. Can I take questions? I got 3 minutes, man. Let me get these 3 minutes. Let me get 3 minutes. Kill the music. I'm going to take some questions. I'll take this guy in the back.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Okay, I'm Esteban. I almost fell asleep. No, I'm sorry, man.
You're mumbling, bro. I can't hear you.
Okay.
Now you're laughing.
No, good speech. Good speech. I love it.
I thought so.
Yes. So let me see if I understood something. You just, people click the ad and they go to the sandwich page.
No, they don't go to a sandwich page. They go to an article. Pre-sell article.
That's an article. It's not a sandwich page. Okay,
that's right.
Okay. It's an article. And you don't ask for the email or anything.
Nope. Don't ask for the email. We just ask them to engage with the piece of content. Hold on.
You just sell the click, so they go to the sales page.
That's right. They go to the article page.
Yes.
On
yes,
the
of
article
course.
page, we put a retargeting pixel there. We also have an exit intent offer, and we ask them to click through to the offer page. I'm going to go to the next question. I only got a minute and 40 seconds.
One
Hand the
second,
mic to
one
Kevin
second.
behind you.
And they got the exit pop-up, right? They got
There is
the
an exit pop-up.
in the sandwich page and also in the sales page.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You get the slides. Thank
it.
you for the question. I'm going to take the next guy behind you.
Hey, Ezra, over here.
What's
To
up?
your right.
Oh, where are we at? Okay,
Right
what's
here.
up, dude?
Hey, man. Name's Luke. I use Shopify in a couple of different companies. What are you using for the one-click upsell on the backside?
That is a proprietary piece of software that we are going to, make available pretty soon here. You can email me, Ezra@smartmarketer.com, ask for it, and I'll get you set up. But it'll be out there pretty soon.
Okay. Sounds good. And what about email? Are you using like Infusion?
We use
or-
Klaviyo. I think Klaviyo is the best service for a Shopify store because
Really?
of the, way better than Infusion, specifically for Shopify.
Okay.
And I could talk about why, but trust me.
Check it out. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. What's up, Kevo?
What's going on? So I recently got into physical products as well. I've got a lingerie business, BeverlyLingerie.com, kind of following your model, running Facebook and Instagram traffic. It's awesome.
Nice.
And we're doing a physical product continuity where it's $25 a month.
Sure.
I was curious if you had any tips for physical product continuity.
You know, in my market specifically, everyone is terrified of continuity because they've been ripped off a bunch of times. I actually have a different business that's targeting millennials.